E3 2017 is upon us, and yet again we ask the eternal question, who won, Xbox or PlayStation?
Or Nintendo?
No. Well, no. Because that's not the exact question we ask every year.
Oh, sorry.
But this is an interesting E3 because I think a lot of changes have happened so far, at least in terms of presentation. You will notice during Sony's press conference, one person took the stage the entire time. That's almost unthinkable. I mean, if you even zoom to Ubisoft earlier in that day, several people come out, devs come out, executives come out. This is, typically you see more than one person, but with Sony, they only put one person on the stage, and it looks more like a reel of what's to come as opposed to, we've been working on the newest cutting-edge graphics that the world has never seen, and more buzzwords, which I appreciated a lot, especially. I think it also recognizes digital media consumption is different than making a live show for a conference. In terms of who won, do you have a thought?
I mean, for me, it all comes down to the software at the end of the day.
It's not hardware? Because Xbox had hardware.
Yes, Xbox did have some hardware.
Didn't.
The Xbox One X.
Yes, the most confusing name. It is. It's confusing, and it sounds like a shoe name to me. But
I'd wear it on my feet.
Yeah, the One X. They're really pushing this as the new 4K console.
Now this
4K
is formerly
gaming.
Project Scorpio.
Project Scorpio has come
Which
out.
I thought was a badass name.
It's not. I mean, they also had Project Natal, and then that became Kinect.
Okay.
You know, it never matches in development. PlayStation, for their part, has the PS4 Pro, which does not. It's not a 4K experience. So I don't really think they're in the same league with each other.
Well, an Xbox representative, a Microsoft representative, said the Xbox 4 Pro is a competitor with the Xbox One S, not the X. The X is in a league of its own.
I wish they would just put different names on instead of just modifiers in the same name, because it makes it confusing.
Well, the Xbox One X to me is akin to the Xbox 360 Elite. It's like the third generation within a generation. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
Just do something else.
Because the Xbox One still has that proposed 10-year life cycle, and this is just the third iteration within that cycle.
How many years deep are we now?
How many consoles are you going to buy? How much money can we get out of you before we have to make something new?
I think I've stopped buying consoles until the next round, because like phones, I don't jump on the S year. I jump on the full new name year or number or what have you. But
Microsoft wants you to believe that this is like a brand new, state-of-the-art, this is the gaming experience.
But that's not how I feel.
Well,
that's not how I feel, because I feel like, oh, it's another one on top of this.
That plays all the old same games.
I haven't already invested. It does. It does go backwards compatible, which is nice, which is something everyone has wanted for years, or at least said they wanted. Some research shows that people rarely go back to old titles.
It's about the principle that matter, really.
Because it's about feeling like you have a good deal. I doubt I will buy an Xbox One X or whatever the fourth iteration of this is.
And probably not a PlayStation 4 Pro?
No, I already have a PlayStation 4. You know, it just seems weird to me to want to, unless I'm trading in my whole console, which I don't think I will. It doesn't make sense.
Are these just systems for late adopters?
I think
people that were holding off, waiting for the best version because they knew it was coming? This is it for them?
Yeah, some people do that. I don't really see the point personally, but it's definitely your own personal choice. I did appreciate Sony's style of press conference, like I said earlier, that just got to the damn point. I did like that they were bringing on support for PSVR, because if you'll remember during the Vita's lifetime, it barely got any support for its peripherals. And then what was funny was people were like, oh, Sony never supports peripherals. And then during the conference it was like, get off VR. We're bored of VR. So I guess there's always gonna be something to criticize about. Between the two, I don't know. I think it's turning into a different conference, and they aren't really like competing with each other anymore. It's just kind of their platform. I mean, E3 feels weird to me this year. There's not much, I would say, solid excitement there for me. Maybe it's just me realizing most of this is hype as I grow older and wiser, but it may also be that this year is not really prime for new releases or anything actually groundbreaking, sort of buzzword groundbreaking?
Well, let me ask you this. Is it a fair comparison to say that with the new technologies that are, VR and 4K and formerly 3D, right? So like Sony seems to be.
Where are you going?
Sony seems to be pushing for VR. VR is the thing. VR is what you want to play.
It's not just Sony,
and Xbox
though.
seemed to say 4K. Like you're nothing without 4K. And we saw that like 3D from previous E3s
is this vapor?
has died. It was not the thing we thought it would be. Who's winning between 4K or VR, or is that an unfair comparison?
I think they're both trends right now, and they kind of are unfair comparisons because they're both their own niches. I mean, VR, Sony's definitely not the only player in the game. They're actually one of the more minor players in the game, I would say.
But in the console market, they're pushing the hardest.
Yeah, they are. I would say neither of them is my pony in the race. I want AR. I want augmented reality the most because I will get sick and dizzy and fall off a building if we're just doing straight up VR.
Don't catch Pokemon on roofs. I'm just saying.
People do it now. So between the two, I don't know. I don't think we're in the console wars anymore. I mean, until they both announce
console
the next
wars
one.
Over.
I think so.
Okay.
I read the book. It was a good book, but it was about Sega in the 90s. Maybe it's all irrelevant like that. Audience, who do you think won the battle of the consoles? But neither of them really. Who won, Xbox or PlayStation? Let me know below, and please like and subscribe for more.